Thank you very much for joining us today. As you know, we have a very fantastic person in the house again today. Yay! All right, so I have a very good friend, Caleb, and we'll be talking about how to settle in the UK faster and better. That is for those who are just coming into the country and for those who have been in the country but are still struggling to find their feet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so very quickly, can you please introduce yourself?
All right. Let me look at the viewers and introduce myself so you know I'm not shy.
I like that.
My name is Caleb Oladeinde. I'm a native of Ogbomoso, Nijeru, Niliatere. I'm married to the beautiful Maria, and I have a daughter. Her name is Sarah. I live in Newcastle, so we're reaching you live from Newcastle in the UK. Did a master's in Glasgow. Did a bachelor's in Lautech. So if you're Omoladoke or Woloke, I'm a Christian. I think that's the most important bit of me. Every other thing is fine, but I'm a Christian, and that's the most important bit. And the rest of the things you want to know about me, I do not know what you want to know. So, you might want to post it in the comments, or I'm just going to go with the flow of the interview and you get to know more about me.
Fantastic. That's a very good one.
Thank you.
When you talk about the Ogbomo show, something Iliatere?
Yeah.
Wow.
Iliatere. Oh, I know my my house. Because to be fair, I went to university in Ogbomoso.
Okay.
So Lautech is in Ogbomoso.
Okay. So,
and I was we don't have village people.
Home.
We don't have village people in Ogbomoso, so I could go to my family house and everything was fine. But yeah, I know where I'm from, really.
To be fair, village people is in relation to families, not really in relation to location, really basically.
Yeah.
So if you have a good family, no village people. If you have a bad family, village people will be plenty. So, anyways, thank you very much for that introduction.
Not a problem.
All right. So, the first thing I would like to know is, what do you do presently?
Presently, I am a data analyst, or in a very fanciful name, a business intelligence developer. I work for a consultancy called CGI. It's a global consultancy, and we consult it's a Canadian company, but it's a global conglomerate. We consult for government, private, public services, and everything. So yeah, that's what I do: data analysis, and yeah.
Wow. So data analysis. Did you start data analysis when you got here, after your masters, or before you came into the UK?
It was when I got here, and to be fair, I didn't like working with computers initially. So my first degree, I did electrical engineering from Lautech. Then I did a master's at the Glasgow Caledonian University in energy and environmental management, and I majored in the oil and gas. And there's a reason I've said that. But after my master's, that was 2018, there was a bit of a drop in the oil price. So people were losing their job in the oil company, and my dream city was Aberdeen, because Aberdeen is like the Niger Delta of the UK. That's where all the oil companies are. But what happened was I stumbled on an article online that said data is the new oil. So I thought, I'm looking to work in oil and gas, and get the Chevron money and Shell. But if data is the new oil, what if I just, learn this thing? So I started learning, watching videos on YouTube. Then as God will have it, there was a consultancy that was recruiting for fresh graduates in Glasgow. I mean, they've got offices around the UK. The consultancy is called FDM Group. So if you're looking to get your first break into tech, this is an unsolicited advertisement. Search for FDM Group online, and they're very good in giving you your foot in the door. So what they did is they will recruit you, they will train you and deploy you.
Wow.
Right. So we had about like a 10-week training, data analysis, business analysis, project management, and different things. Then I was just posted to Newcastle. And the first client I was working on was DWP, that's the Department for Work and Pensions. But I wasn't doing a data role. I was doing a tech support role. And kudos to the tech support guys, but I never wanted to be a tech support person. I wanted to be a data person. So while I would do my my tech support role during the day, I would read in the night, because I just thought I didn't have a degree in computer science. I didn't have a degree. I don't know data. I'm not a tech bro. So I just thought, and again, I'd have to say God made it happen. But I just thought that the best way I might be able to get into a tech role is if I have certifications.
Okay.
So while I was doing my tech support role, I was also studying for Microsoft certification. And then I was studying for the MCSA, which is now being retired, and the MCSE. So the MCSA is the Microsoft Certified Solution Associate. Then the MCSE is the Solution Expert. It's now been retired now. But I was reading for the 70779 and 70778. And so I wrote the exams, passed it. And that was how the journey started, really.
Wow.
Then I could get another job. Then I got my first job in data after I left FDM. And yep, it's been 2018 to now. It's been 7 years now. So
dream come true.
Yeah, absolutely.
You saw it, you went for it, and then you nailed it.
Yeah.
And of course, you burnt your midnight candle.
I did. To be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say that things fell on my lap. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was my effort that brought it. Honestly, God helped me. And I cannot overemphasize that. And that would be constant in this chat. I'll tell you how well God has helped me in making things, come to pass.
Now I'm feeling like going into data now.
I advise people to go. The thing about going into data, sorry, I know this is probably not a tech chat, but hey, why not? You can learn. The thing about going into data is that whatever stage you are in data, there is something for you, right? If all you know is Excel, Microsoft Excel, because people use Excel as spreadsheet, but Excel is probably the best data tool anyone can use, right? You can, the fanciful ones, Tableau, Power BI, blah, 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 but Excel, know your Excel if you want to go into data. If all you know is Excel, there are lots and lots of jobs for you. If all you know is SQL, there's SQL. Lots of jobs for you. But I do Power BI.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm a Microsoft data analyst. Yes, I do Power BI. There's Tableau as well. I feel like if you know Power BI, you would be able to pick up Tableau or Click or Looker Studio, whatever. But the thing is, it's easy to come into.
Okay.
It gets complicated over time, just like any other thing in this world, really. So I would say if you want to come into tech, data is a very good way to come in. And you need to like what you're doing because it could be frustrating as well. But it's not as difficult as software engineering, I believe. Software engineering, if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. There's
but
no
data, there's always something for someone at every point in time. Yeah.
And you have to be good with numbers.
Yes.
Not necessarily.
You don't even, that's the thing. You're not a data scientist. So you're not doing statistics. I mean, you will at some point. It depends on the client. But you don't have to be a mathematical person. You just have to you just need to be able to listen. I think the biggest and the most underrated skill in data is just listening. It's not so much all the fanciful things you can do with data. It's so much listening to the clients and knowing this is what they want to see. And that's what I will show them in a very simple way as possible. So you don't, if you failed maths in WAEC, don't jitter. You can get into data.
So for those of us who have been thinking, okay, I want to go into tech, but I don't know how to break in, he just outlined the way to break into it for you.
Yeah.
Going into data after masters, what has been the challenges for you and how did you manage to overcome them?
What has been the challenges going into data? First of all, my big data role, I really didn't know what I was doing. Because the thing is this, I learned Power BI. You download it on your PC, you get data from, say, cargo.com or data.world or just any random data set. And you play around with it. And you think, oh yeah, I've nailed it. I think I know how to use Power BI. Then you get onto a job and it's totally different. And you're thinking, everything I practiced in my bedroom was just
happening?
I remember my first core data job. I got it with a company called Sage. So for those of you that don't know, Sage, this is another unsolicited advertisement. Sage is one of the top financial software companies in the world. The headquarters in Newcastle. They have HR packages and accounting packages and stuff like that. So I got into Sage, and I don't know how far this video will go, but a very big shout out to my manager in Sage, Mark Carlyle, and my director, Rob Smith. I want to say thank you for giving me a chance, because I had no idea what I was doing when you gave me a chance. So I got into Sage, and on the first day, I broke the data set. I broke the data set. Well, it was called data set now. In Power BI, it's called semantic model. And the reason I broke it is because there's a very big difference between what you practice in your room and what you do in real life. So for those of you that know Power BI, when you finish building what you're building on Power BI desktop, you publish the workspace. But what I didn't know was that in Sage, in my team, you don't publish the workspace. You save it to SharePoint. SharePoint syncs to your workspace. If you publish to your workspace, you overwrite whatever was there before. So I just thought, first day on the job, I need to, impress one or two people so they know, the top guy is here. I wasn't the top guy at all. So I published, and I made a mistake in the model, which meant that every other report just broke.
So my God.
I did that, I didn't know anything that happened. We got back the next morning, reports were broken. Who was published last? And I said, yeah, it was me. I just published. And I went, oh no, you don't do that. You have to go to SharePoint, which we now had to do a rollback and all. So that was the first thing that shook me. Like, okay, I thought I knew what I was doing. And I remember after the first week working, I called my siblings.
Okay.
Shout out Joshua and Deborah. I called them and said, I think I'm going to quit this job because I don't think I'm good enough like I thought I was. And I think I'm a fraud. And I think I'll be found out soon that I don't know what I was doing. But having the right people around you, especially my manager, Mark, made me grow. And I must say, he's the reason I have a data career right now. So, he held me by the hands, showed me different things. And I have a data career now. But that was the biggest challenge I encountered when I started. But after that, I just kept learning and learning. You just never stop learning, do you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We never stop learning. All right. So from what you've just said, it's very important for you to have a mentor or a guidance, someone who can actually hold your hand to help you through, the learning process and the phase. Yeah.
Yes.
That's now. Do you think we have people like that in our communities? By communities, I mean where we're coming from.
Yeah, Nigeria, community.
African communities, and do you think we have people like that?
We will. Now, it's impossible because we're millions and millions of people. So it's impossible for me to be able to mention one person. But one person I met when I was doing my tech support job was a man called Michael Alabi. He might see this as well. He was, and he's still a mentor.
Okay.
And the way he challenged me was when I was doing the tech support role, and I said to him that I want to get into data. He told me, go do certifications. So I've got a couple of certifications now. He was the one that started it. He said, when you do certifications, the image you project to people is one of two things. It's either I'm an expert, I know exactly what I'm doing, or I'm a learner, but I'm not a total idiot. Right? So if you do a Microsoft certification in Power BI, it doesn't make you Marco Russo or Alberto Ferrari or guy in a cube or something. But what it makes you to a recruiter is to say, this person knows what he's talking about to some extent. He's put in some effort to learn how this thing works. And as a then, I think he told me he had 29 Microsoft certifications already, and I didn't have any. So he said, hey, start doing that. So I started reading up and writing certifications. And I would say it has helped me. I won't sit here and say my certifications got me all my jobs, but I would say my certification gave me a bit of credibility, to recruiters to say, this guy probably knows what he's talking about. So he was my mentor. He's still my mentor. When I have career challenges, I speak to him. So my advice for people would be, there's nothing you're doing that someone has not done. There's nothing you're facing that someone has not faced. And this is not just, in the workplace. This is not just about your career. It's about marriage and parenting, your spiritual life, and everything. There's someone that has done or has gone through what you're going through. And you just be surprised how far you can go when you just speak to people that have been there and done that. So, yeah. So, do we have specific people in our community as a Nigerian community? I do not know what career you are, whoever is watching me, but you know somebody. It could be a manager, it could be an ex-colleague, it could be a neighbor or a friend of a friend, but you know somebody that knows somebody that has done what you're doing. Right. So just reach out. And I think it's difficult for people to say no to mentorship if you come in nicely. You know, just to deviate a bit, a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks ago, I went for a Power BI user group meeting. So, you know, Power BI user group, someone comes and shows something fantastic in Power BI and some professionals just sit and watch. And a lady walked up to me and said, you know, she didn't really come for the user group. She just came to meet someone that she's new into data, new into the country as well. She's from India, right? And she sat with me and said, what's your big advice for someone started in data? And we got talking and I said, you know, add me up on LinkedIn. If you need anything, let me know. Just like that, a relationship has been formed. If she needs anything, she would let me know. If there's a job opening, I would let her know. A career started. So it's good to find people in the community, but don't restrict yourself to the community. There is that manager, like for me, it was Mark. Another person is Louis Pitchforth. You know, he got me started. Another person is Martin Chatterton. He started the whole dominoes falling. These are people that, and none of these people are, apart from Michael Alabi, none of these people are Nigerians.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. They're wonderful British people that just love me. And, you know, they held me by the hands and they're the reason I'm here today. So find somebody in your place of work. You know, if you're a junior developer, go to a senior developer. Don't try to prove like you're not on the same footing, right? I've got, say, 6 years experience as a data analyst. If there's someone with 15-year experience as a data analyst, I'm not the person's equal, right? It'd be foolish for me to want to sit on the same side of the table with the person. So, hey, drop your ego, speak with someone. And before you know it, people will start speaking with you as well. And you just become someone's mentor. And you'll be like, oh, really? You know, I just started how many years ago? So, yeah, mentorship is very important. In the community, outside the community, please just get somebody.
Now, for those of us who are just coming in, I think we have dealt with this a little bit, but for data analysis. Now, for those of us who are just coming into the country, what will be the advice you will, and for those who have been in the country, but there's still quite a lot of people that are still stuck in shifting, getting shifts here and there just to, you know, I call it from shift to mouth. So go for shifts, spend the money. You need to go for another shift. Do you understand? So the cycle. Now, for those who are still stuck in that rat race, and for those who are just coming in, what would be the advice that you give that will get them to get better quicker?
Do we mean career-wise or just settling?
Settling, finance, career if possible.
Okay. Because I've been talking about data, I'll just start from career. Now, this is more generalistic. It applies to data as well, or tech, but it's more general. Number one is be flexible. For my people that are coming from Nigeria, be flexible, right? Your career can change and that's fine. So be flexible. Also, this is very important. Watch your association or the people. If you're in the UK now, you've come from Nigeria in the UK, watch the people you are rolling with. If you're in Nigeria planning to come to the UK, watch the people you're speaking to. I'll tell you why. You see, people say, oh, if you come to the UK, it will take you a couple of years before you get a good job. That is true. That is not true, depending on the person you're asking. All right. I know people that have come into the UK less than 3 years, they've bought a house. I know, and this is real life. I won't mention names, but this is real life, right? I have a friend that came to do masters when I was doing my masters. Right now, that family have 2 houses, 2 new builds
Wow.
in Manchester.
Oh my.
They're renting one, they're living in a bigger one. Now, also you have people that have been in this country for 20 years and have not bought a house. Now, I'm not saying buying a house is the peak of achievement. I'm just saying that if you work with certain people, they will let you know that it's possible for you to come into this country and within 2 years or within a year, you're flying. You would roll with some other people and they will tell you, just do shifts, just get the pounds, and they kill your ambition. So one of the things that helped me, of course, the way I came into this country is a bit different. But, when I was living down south with my family, just before I got married, so my particular family, my parents, my siblings, the people that we were associated with were very, very high achievers. So these are people that will tell you, hey, what are you doing now? Pull your boots up. You need to get this done. You're not going to be doing this kind of job for the rest of your life. You're not going to be earning this per hour. You need to be a professional. You're educated. But I know some other people that have met a set of people that they just say, hey, keep your certificate. It's not useful in this country. Just quickly look for something. You know the way we say, jama, sorry, jamo, and you can just get a job and start a 2-bedroom flat in Beacon. And it's association is the most important thing. The association you make in this country would determine if you would crawl or if you would fly. That's one. Another thing is that be very sincere with yourself. Some of the courses you read in Nigeria are not lucrative here. Right? So be very, very flexible. I know someone that was in finance in Nigeria, high flyer in finance, is planning to go into nursing here. Flexibility. All right. I studied engineering in Nigeria. Engineering is good here, but tech is better. So my masters, I spent a lot of money for the masters, but I've not worked a day in energy and environmental management. Flexibility. So be sincere with yourself and be very flexible. Also be prayerful. A random conversation in the shop in Tesco can get you your next job. Or, just randomly sitting by someone by the bus stop can get you your next job. So be prayerful. God will always lead your path if you put your trust in Him. And yeah, I think as for finance, the most important advice I would give you is nobody cares about you. Honestly speaking, nobody cares about you in this country.
UK.
Nobody cares how latest your car is, how latest your phone is, how chic you look when you dress. The reason I say that is sometimes, if we'll be sincere with ourselves, we've got a culture called I better pass my neighbor. Right? We want to show that we've arrived. And when we upload those pictures, we want people in Nigeria to know that, this guy
has landed.
Is balling. The conqueror, the lion, the champion is here. But I honestly tell you from the whole of my heart, I don't even remember what shirt I wore yesterday. Not to talk of the shirt you wore.
Nobody cares.
I used to have a friend when I was in Glasgow. She's still my friend. But I wasn't as financially buoyant as I am now. So I used to go, and I still do, I still buy clothes in Primark. So I'll go to Primark and buy stuff. And she would say, oh, you shouldn't be buying stuff in Primark. And I said, is Primark for the less privileged? He said, no. I said, is it my money I'm spending in Primark? He said, yes. I said, that's all I want to know. I don't care what you think, right? I don't need to use the latest phone. I don't need to use the latest car. I have a car. It takes me from point A to B. I'm happy. The reason is this. If you live a life of impressing people, you will just keep spending. You will never be able to save. You'll never be able to have a future financial goal. You will just be better than the next person. And again, the word better is relative, right?
True.
You're driving a 2018 car. Of course, you're better than me. My car is not as recent as 2018. But I've got a neighbor that's driving a 2025 car. 2026 car. What are you going to say about that? Right? And my neighbor that is driving a 2026 car, maybe someone is going to come here with a Range Rover 2026 and it's better than my neighbor's car. You see, the thing is, it's relative. And who cares anyway? So nobody really cares. That's the biggest financial advice. Nobody really cares. Then also, you should know this as an adult, save for rainy days. Save for rainy days, because rainy days come. I've been through losing my job. And thank God for the wife I have that, held me up in that point. But saving for rainy day will just help you. Different things, really. Family, be nice to people. Be nice to people in this country. If you're nice to people in this country, you'll be surprised it can save you.
Yes.
Childminder's fee. You can get neighbors that can look after your children, or friends, or church members. But again, don't be nice because of what you want to get from people.
True.
Just be very kind. And one final thing I would say, especially for those in the UK, when you're walking out of a door, don't slam the door. And I'm not talking about a physical door, right? That place of work you're working now, and you're looking forward to leaving, looking to go to better things. Be careful how you leave that place of work, because you might need to go back, or you might need help from where you've left. And people leave places in a very bad manner. But I would say everywhere I've worked, when I get back in touch with people I've worked with, we're always very cordial. And I know that if I need help from them, they're ready to give.
Always.
Yeah, so be very careful how you walk out of places, especially if you're in tech, because the tech world is a very small world. It is a very small world, and you will run into each other again. And honestly, your best job application is nothing compared to just 2 sentences of referral.
Yeah.
Right. So very careful how you slam the door. Don't slam the door when you're leaving. Yeah.
Wow. The things I've heard now, I might have to play it over and over again to, readjust myself in certain areas myself too, because what are you talking about? This is deep, bro. Seriously, this is
I
really
probably
deep.
have to play it to listen to it again as well.
This is really deep. Now, be flexible, be truthful to yourself. Don't leave any group or any room badly, in a bad way.
Watch your association.
Yeah. And the one that actually hit me the most is when you talked about the people you talk to, even when you're about to leave.
Yes.
The first set of people you talk to might just mess up your path if you are not careful.
Yeah.
Because someone telling you that you need to hustle first before you get good jobs can be a good advice, but most times it's not a good advice.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to act or talk as if I'm living outside of the typical immigrant reality. When we come into this country, the first thing is survival.
Yes.
You need to survive. You need to pay your bills. Absolutely. I've done fantastic jobs. I don't want to call them ridiculous jobs.
Okay.
Done warehouse job. One thing I prayed, I said, God, I don't want to do care, because I don't think I had the ability to stomach what people stomach when they do care. But when I was doing my master's, I worked in the warehouse where I had to be on my feet for 11 hours overnight. I've worked as a security, so stadium security.
Wow, okay.
When you go for football matches, those guys in the high-vis vest. Yes. I used to be one of those people in Glasgow. I've washed toilets. I have washed people's wooden patio. What else have I done? I've done a couple of things, but I just knew I knew I wasn't here to just get the pounds and have a little change in my account. I wanted a long-term career, right? And I chased it. And I must say again, God helped me, right? I'm not the best data analyst in town, right? Go on LinkedIn, you see thousands of data analysts better than me. But God helped me and, opened doors for me. But at the same time, he helped me to put in the work as well. So yes, when you come into this country, the first thing on your mind is survival. whether your wife has come to do a master's and you need to work to pay the school fees, I understand. But have a plan. Have a plan. If what has brought you here is health and care visa, COS, and you're professional in Nigeria, but now you're a carer. I feel like people look at care jobs as just something you do before you get to the next place. But remember that the health and care sector is some people's career.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. I have a friend, she's somewhere in the Midlands. She might watch this at some point. We went to school together in Nigeria. She was very close to a first class, computer science. So she's an absolutely brilliant lady. She did a master's and finished with a distinction, computer science, back in Nigeria.
Wow.
But she got an health and care job, COS, and brought the family, and she's here. And when I got talking to her, I was like, oh, so what's the plan? What's the next thing? I thought she was going to say, oh, I'm just going to hustle this health and care for the next couple of years, and I'll look for a computer science job. And, she said, Caleb, I am going to make a career out of this health and social care thing. And this goes to, because I know there's so many Nigerians that watch this and you're, health and social care, and you're thinking, a whole me. I know what I was in Nigeria, working in Zenith Bank or GT Bank. Now I'm doing health and care or social care. Let me challenge you. You can rise in health and social care. You don't always, now I'm not saying you should not be ambitious, but you don't always have to run away from that sector, because it's an important sector, and it's a sector that you would almost never lack. You almost never lack something to do, because there would always be people that need help and health and social care. So my friend is doing NVQs. She's doing some certifications. She's now a manager. A couple of years, she's now a manager. She studied computer science, almost finished with a first class, did a master's in computer science. I didn't do a master's in computer science, and I'm in tech, I work in tech. If she was working in tech, she'd be way better than I am. But what brought her to this country is health and social care. And she's not just sat around and mopped about and said, oh, me, I know what I was in Nigeria. She's just gone on with it. And I know there'll be thousands of Nigerians watching this and saying, oh yeah, I do that as well. So please keep it up. And if you're not doing it and you just think health and social care is just here, it's below you, I think you're wrong, right? If you put your heart to it, do more certifications. It's a career that you can rise in, and before you know it, you're flying.
True. Health and social care is even a world on its own, where you can find almost every career in it. It depends on where you're actually looking at. So you can start as a carer, and at the end of the day, you can even become a data analyst in health and social care.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Why not just look for ways to pivot and go into different other places?
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right. You can always pivot. You don't have to spend the rest of your life doing what you're doing now. Right. And if you want to do what you're doing now for the rest of your career, don't do it at the same level as which you're doing it now. Just keep growing. When you stop growing, you're dead. So
true.
Yeah, just keep growing.
True.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been very informative. Is that word informative?
Yeah, informative.
Informative to me personally, and I want to believe that it has been for you guys too. And if you have stuck with me this far, guys, I want to say thank you. Thank you very much. And until my next video, we'll double.
God bless you. Thank you very much.